was so good. It was a fun amount of mind games. I've been enjoying doing that with him. In fact, actually, oh,
Oh, that's very
unlikely to happen ever again.
recording.
Being critical on YouTube means you get criticized a lot, and that's a good thing. I wouldn't want my opinions to just be widely accepted. I'd start to think something's up if that was the case. Also, a lot of my opinions are disagreeable, so I don't really want to live on a planet, well, maybe the child in me does, but I don't want to live on a planet where I am able to disagree with the state of things, but people aren't allowed to disagree with me. I might be a dick, but I'm not a tyrant. So criticize away. If I say something factually incorrect or something that you have a polar opposite experience to, then that's awesome, man. That's great. But then recently, when making videos about Red Dead Online, I started dealing with the problem of time travel, and seeing how I'm unable to participate in time travel, I find the comments telling me that I haven't played the game enough to be rather interesting. Because are they written by people that believe that I have some transcendent ability to go back in time, experience the game at its worst, watch it get piddled, drip-fed content, so that on July 21st at 6:52 p.m. in the year of our Lord 2021, I can be just as disappointed as everyone else? So that's a bit of an issue. You know, it's sort of an irrelevant thing to point out that I haven't played the game enough because I can't exactly fast forward or rewind time. And for those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I reviewed Red Dead Redemption 2 when it came out and Red Dead Online when it came out. This isn't something I woke up to and realized existed recently, not even a little bit. And on top of that, I have dived into just years and years worth of YouTube content about Red Dead, and I've learned a lot about the states that it's been in, the glitches it's had, the problems the community has had with it. And you know what I realized? It ain't that deep, fam. Almost every game that's similar to Red Dead Online has similar complaints from their communities. Even if those games get miles more content and those games live up to their specific potential, more so than Red Dead, people still have the same complaints. Not enough of this, too many bugs here, why is this imbalanced? It's all the same stuff. So talking about the game as if there's some long encyclopedia of Red Dead Online history that I'm somehow missing out on, and it's very complex and requires studying of the ancient texts. You know, the Red Dead Online community could stand to not act like ancient Hebrews wandering deserts for 40 years. One of the things I said in my video about the negative Red Dead community, and that's a little harsh, right? You know, just to deviate for a second, it was a little harsh of me to call the Red Dead community negative or sort of brand them as negative when they have reasons to complain. But I did say that in the video, it's just maybe I should have changed the title and thumbnail or something a little bit. But either way, in that video, I said if you have grievances, air them. My entire channel, or I would say about 80% of my channel, is criticism. A lot of it I do believe is constructive, and I try to think it out pretty well before I open my stupid mouth about it, but either way, I get criticism. I get wanting to tear down the parts of the game that aren't living up to their potential. It's nothing but frustrating to watch something not live up to its potential, especially when you care about it, so complain away. What I told people not to do, though, is to become so narrow in their vision that they lose all perspective. That's why I said go play other games, go play Division, go play Destiny, go play other games and see just how perfect they are and how much content they get, how deep are their mechanics, how visceral is their combat. And you might realize, wow, I appreciate Red Dead a bit more than I used to. That's one of the reasons I appreciate a lot of games more than I used to as I've gotten older, as I've gotten out of my entitled juvenile whinings. I've realized that every game is imperfect. The thing you gotta watch out for is when developers have the wrong priority or they continually try the same experiment, fail, and it's easy to point out that they fail, and then I feel like that's where criticism really comes in. But over the last year, I've been much more interested in criticizing people and their mentalities more so than products. And as a product, Red Dead Online is very good. I think it's very good in its current state. So the next thing I said in that video was stop trying to disillusion players. Stop trying to tell new players that they'll be just as miserable as you. as if that new player is guaranteed to play through all 3 years, and that new player is so interested in getting to level 555 or some bullshit like that, and that new player wants to have every role and wants to max out every role and own every horse and own every gun, and no. Stop trying to disillusion players, and I think a lot of the people that do this are people that binge a game. Now, this is one place where I definitely don't relate to certain players, is some players play Call of Duty to get every single mastery camo, every challenge completed, and that's what they do. They max out every battle pass, they buy so many things out of the store, they collect variants and operators, and they just revel in it. I don't. I really don't. If I did that in a game like Call of Duty, what time would I have for Halo? If I did that in a game like Red Dead, what time would I have for games like Call of Duty or GTA or Battlefield or Halo? You know, something like that. You know, I like to pick and nibble on things. You know, some of the best games I've played over the last 2 years have been PlayStation exclusive third-person story games like Spider-Man, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Persona 5 Royale, and Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. Those are games that I've really been enjoying, and those aren't my usual wheelhouse, but you know, when I play games that aren't my usual wheelhouse, I can appreciate them for what they are, and then I come back to my wheelhouse, I come back to the thing that I'm confident in, that I'm skilled at to some degree, and I appreciate it more. But I think there are certain types of gamers that I can't really relate to that want to grab a single game, and they want to play that for 5 years, and then they complain when the developers don't keep up with their insatiable thirst. And in games like Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto or Destiny or The Division, games where it really does encourage you to log on every day and progress and grind and optimize your kit and things like that. You know, Red Dead, the least of those games, I think. I think Red Dead's way more about moment to moment, you know, picking herbs, cleaning your gun, you know, crafting ammo and tonics and maybe exploring and trying to get a perfect pelt. It's way more about the moment to moment mechanics and the depth that lies within them than overall, you know, meta success through optimal builds. But either way, I feel like those types of games really draw on the type of people that just want to max everything out. They want it to be an extension of their life. They want it to be their lifestyle game. And I'm not gonna call you a no-life or a loser for that. I just can't relate to that impulse. Because if all I did was play Red Dead, when would I have time for Ghost of Tsushima? When would I have time for, you know, Call of Duty? I still want to be good at Call of Duty and Halo, so like, when would I play those? So in my head, Red Dead doesn't have to be my entire life. So while I want things from it, I'm not going to lambast the game for not living up to the potential I'm building for it and the imagination that I have. Because I know that I'm perfectly capable of sitting down in front of any video game, any given video game, and imagining it better and designing in my own mind how the game could be better. But you know, it doesn't always live up to that, and I accept that. But this isn't a video about how perfect Red Dead is. This video is about telling me that I haven't played enough or that I'm not angry enough. I'm sorry that you can't relate to me, or the resentful, bitter, vindictive little child in you can't relate to me better. Because I'm not as angry as you. But nobody put a gun to your head and said play Red Dead from launch to now and just deal with it. No one told you to level up, you know, 200, 300, 400 times. Nobody commanded that you get up to 300 gold bars or $30,000 or something like that. No one told you to do that. You did that on your own accord. And, you know, I'm not saying that every player that complains this way is that person, but that's sort of how I end up picturing them, because what else am I supposed to picture when somebody comes in and says, you haven't played enough? I imagine the only people that feel like they have the authority to tell me that are people that have maxed everything out and are just, you know, they're just super high level players that have maxed out every role, done every type of mission, done every single thing in the game that they possibly can, and they're telling me that I'm not bitter enough and that I'm simply naive because I do not recognize the past. Well, unfortunately for you, my point holds a lot of water here. This isn't as much about opinions and back and forth, as much as I might like it to be or you might like it to be. Honestly, it comes down to Red Dead Online exists in the present. So stop telling me that I didn't play enough in the past. That's a gatekeeping argument from authority, and I really just have no time for it. So I'm gonna end this video here because I don't have any more time to devote in my life to this discussion. I don't exist in the past. I played this game in the past. I've aired my grievances about this game. I've already said that I agree that this game doesn't live up to its full potential and that Rockstar needs to change its priorities. So believe me, you don't need to come into my comment section and justify your resentment. I'm sure you have your reasons, but not everybody else is going to have them or needs to have them. So comment Brokeback if you got to this point in the video. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.